anybody cared for him and didn't think he'd ever be healed. So as I'm just hear me, and he says, "Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool." Did you hear? This is what he said. The crippled man assumes Jesus knew how things worked at the pool of Bethesda. And he explained to Jesus why it was possible for him to be healed. Quite naturally, the man couldn't think of any other way for his need to be met. The man was an interesting case of hope combined with hopelessness. He had hope or would never have come to the pool of Bethesda. And I wonder if he came there for 38 years, you guys. Do you think he did? Yet once there, he had little hope to be the favored one to win the healing that day. "Another steps down before me," he said. The man's answer implies the popular belief that whoever stepped in immediately after the bubbling of the water was made whole. The sick man does what we nearly all do. He limits God's help to his own ideas and does not dare promise himself more than he conceives in his mind. Calvin. This is what Calvin says. Listen, sometimes we place God in a box, in a small box of our mind, and limit him to what he can do. That's all we figure God can do. And so this paralyzed man figured that's all God could do. You know, I'm gonna be here, and whoever gets in first is gonna be healed. I'm not gonna be able to get in there because everybody steps over me. So it's not my favorite. I'm not the favorite. Have you ever been there? Ooh, you could go to church years and go up to the altar to be healed and not be healed. Or you could sit in the church and be sick and lame, broken, and not be healed. Our minds play so many tricks. It says that our heart is wicked. Who can know it? So our minds, our hearts will tell us or deceive us, the enemy in us, the enemy, the inner me, inner, I-N-N-E-R, me, enemy, the inner me telling me I'm not going to get healed. It'll never happen. But how many know that Jesus asked this man a question? Do you want to be healed? And he didn't lay hands on him. He said, rise, pick up your bed and walk. Get up. He didn't, and I could only imagine that he didn't say, rise, get up, come on. No, he did not. He said, rise, take up your bed and walk. That means whatever he was lying on, rise, pick up your bed, roll it up, pick it up, whatever you're laying on, rise and walk. Jesus told the man to do what he could not do. And being paralyzed, it was impossible for him to rise or take up his bed, mat, or to walk. At this moment, Jesus challenged the man to believe him for the impossible. The bed was not a full-frame bed, but a mat. and more on the ancient Greek word translated bed. It is apparently a Macedonian origin and denotes a camp bed, a pallet. It's easy to imagine that the man's first reaction was, I can't do that. Why would I even try? Yet something wonderful prompted the man to say, if this man tells me to do it, I will try. And Jesus guided the man towards a response of faith. That happened to me one time. That happened to me several times, but the most amazing thing is that it happened to me and that it changed the trajectory of my life. My life turned. I turned to God and my life turned around. But I'll tell you about that. We're going to continue with the man. It's easy to imagine that the man's first reaction was that, why would I even try? But the man might well have said, what kind of injured resentment that for 38 years his bed had been carrying him, and there was not much sense in telling him to carry it. He was commanded to take his bed that he might recognize that the cure was permanent. No doubt many of the cures at the pool were merely temporary. But because our minds, Jesus, I remember that I felt I had to be on narcotics because I was in such excruciating pain. And I felt that I had to stay on them forever. And I know that I was on them from 2000, before 2007 or 8, to 2019. And had an incident of an accidental overdose. Went in the hospital. And went into there for 3. I was one hospital for 3 days and I went to another for 5 to 7 days. No narcotics. None, you guys. To my recollection. God, see, sometimes people have to go into rehab for months, sometimes longer. Hallelujah, Jesus. But God did me. When I came out there, I haven't been on any narcotics since. I think maybe once when I had a procedure, but I said I'll just take them for a day or two. Then I can't take up no more. And I suffered through the pain and took Tylenol because I did not want that anymore, and it had to be God. Because like the lame man, the pain that I suffer now, there is other medications or other ways to deal. Is it still bad? Yes, but God has taught me ways to deal with it differently, and also depression differently than what I had dealt before. Not only that, don't glory, brokenheartedness is real. Not dealing with your family's death is real. When you don't deal right with grief and all other things, it all crams up together. And I believe God. And when I went through so many different things, pain, emotional trauma, stress, anxiety, sickness that was the chronic pain, it takes a toll on you. But God, and I tell you, for all these years, God, amazingly, Saturday on Sabbath, I was baptized. Lord, glory. See, my story, this is almost like the lame man. My story of paralyzed is sometimes not paralyzed and not being able to walk, but paralyzed in chronic pain, chronic sickness, being this chronically ill, and not allowing God to make you whole in other things and showing you how to deal with life and to spiritually grow you and restore you, redeem you, and make you over. God is in restoration, restoring business. See, I was saved, but I wasn't converted. I had not truly given all my life to God. I gave pieces. I gave what I wanted to give to Him, but I didn't give my all to God. I gave what I wanted to give, but I gave everything, surrendered it all to Him. When I surrendered all to God and let go of everything, when I tell you everything, I surrendered all to God. And when I was baptized on the 15th of July, 2023, He cleansed me and washed me and made me whole. Will I have to deal with pain? It still hurts, but it is not like it was. Do I still have to take medication? I'm still taking medication. But I'm telling you about the excruciating pain of mentally thinking I can't do this or I can't, sin. I'm talking about sin, people. There is a sin. The sin. And everybody has it. That won't let you go past something. And you keep saying, I can't let that go. I can't, not that. I gotta have a relationship. God, I don't have nobody, but I don't have a man in my life. I need a man in my life, or I need this, or I gotta be rich, or I gotta have a house, or I gotta have money, or I gotta do this. No, you need God. You surrender everything. He said, but seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and His righteousness. Now, all these other things will be added unto you. That's Matthew 6:33. If you do that, all those other things will be added. See? And so He asked the lame man, do you want to be made whole? Is really what He asked him. Do you want to be made whole? Do you want to keep going around this same circle? Do you want to keep living like this? doing the same thing, expecting